Setting the clock for 6 minutes of witchcraft with me, Laura Tempest Zakroff, and today we're going to talk about gatekeeping, which is a hot topic on the witchy internet right now. But it's always been a topic that comes up every time there's a new trend. We saw it in the 90s, and we will see it again probably in another decade or so. And defining gatekeeping is actually a bit difficult because, surprise, words have meaning and they can have meaning to different people. So same thing with defining witch. You ask two witches to define witch, you're probably going to get about 6 different answers about what does it mean to be a witch. So I think the important thing is look at what is the basis of the word. There's a gate and you're keeping it. Haha. No, a gate is a port of entry, right? Or a port of exit. It is a place where people can enter or leave. And if you're keeping, that means you're watching over, you're guarding the gate. So where is this an important thing? Well, you get to control who comes into your house, right? You're technically a gatekeeper for your house. You're a guardian of your house. But your neighborhood, you can't control who comes into your neighborhood. Or your state, your city, your state, right? People can come and go as they please. Some of those people are going to have good intentions, and some of those people are not going to be the people you want. This can get really complicated because, this has been a basis for a lot of racism. Like, those people can't live here because they don't believe or look or, all of the different isms as is. They don't look like you, and so they're not allowed into the gated community. So that is clearly a problematic thing. Some people like to apply it in terms of, well, this is my tradition, this is my practice, and, we have our secrets within our practice. And that's fine. You get to talk about who can be part of your practice, who can be part of your household, who's going to be part of your coven. You want to make careful decisions about this because when you're practicing magic with other people, when you are doing devotional practices, all of these things, you need to work intimately and closely with those people. So that is totally cool. That is really not the definition of gatekeeping that we're looking at right now on the internet. Mainly it's coming up for a meme, and I've seen many variations of the meme. One of that is like, oh, I miss it when witchcraft was underground. Now every Becky who thinks she's a witch can go to Whole Foods and buy sage. I've seen it with crystals. I've seen it with tarot cards. People who are like, oh no, this is all about the overuse of sage. Like, no, that is not the point of that meme. Yes, that's an important topic to talk about. Cultural appropriation is an important topic. Looking at our natural resources, not abusing them, knowing what the proper practices are. These are all important things. The heart of this meme is basically going, that person over there, they think they're a witch. Isn't that funny? Ugh, beginners, newbies, these people we don't like are trying to do our thing. Guys, that's bullshit. All right, let's break this down. You're not being a guardian or a gatekeeper. You're basically being a goalie in a game where who cares who gets in the net, okay? It doesn't really matter. You can't control these things, nor should you waste your time doing it. If you're focusing so much energy on what other people are doing, you're not working on your path. You're not doing the work you're supposed to be doing. You're worrying about those other people. And that's not your job unless you're the one teaching them, right? If you're in a position of teaching them, of working with them, then that is definitely your issue. But what they're doing, where they're buying, everybody starts somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere, and if somebody comes to the occult because they heard that essential oils were really interesting and helpful, or they come to crystals because someone said if you buy hematite, it will help, clear negative energy. That's a gateway, right? It's a gateway drug in the best way. And if they come and they find out more things and they stick around, that's awesome. But I'm not going to judge them for who they are just because of where they're shopping or what they're buying or what they think they use for a name. So let's talk about thinking here for a moment. So not too long ago, I was doing a book signing at a shop, and this gentleman came in and was like, oh, well, I think I'll pick up this book for my wife. And I was like, oh, great. Would you like me to sign it to her? And he's like, yes, that would be awesome. She thinks she's a witch. And I just had a moment of, really? Obviously, you love your wife. You're trying to do something kind for her. You're trying to show approval of her interest, but the language you just said to me was she thinks she's a witch. Folks, there's a lot of people out there looking at us practitioners who've been doing this for a very long time. We are thinking we're witches. I know I'm a witch. I'm sure Becky down the street possibly thinks she's a witch, right? But she is, right? Or he is, or they are, right? You don't get to control that. And you also, when you start playing this slippery slope of people thinking of what they are, you're also denying yourself and other people the right to use that label. You can see the previous issue about labels, by the way. So don't go that route, right? Let people use the labels they want. Self-apply labels as needed for yourself, because that's the most important thing. But we are still facing issues where a larger society thinks we're doing fantasy or we're doing something crazy here. Like, no, we are actually doing the thing that is closest to working with the earth, the energies of the earth, building society in different ways. Ooh, there is a charm. I know, we're done, right? But we're not. One more moment. So think a little more deeply about that. Yeah, it's fun to make fun of things. Like, we all like the catty corner. All right, we all show up and purr and scratch the litter box, right? And be like, oh, it's so funny, because you want a sense of relief. But really what's happening when you're making fun of that newbie who you don't approve of their use of the label that you might also use, you really are going down a slippery slope. And it's not helping anyone. So